Alright, imagine this. You're watching a billionaire in their late 70s jog up a hill, skin glowing, joints flexible, brain sharp. It's not science fiction. It's happening now. Because while the rest of us are still navigating health insurance, waiting lists, and overpriced prescriptions, there's a quiet revolution unfolding behind closed doors. A revolution in medicine, where diseases are being erased, aging is being reversed, and lives are being extended. But here's the twist. These cures exist. You just can't afford them. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a world where cutting-edge health breakthroughs are real, but locked behind billion-dollar gates. From gene editing to regenerative medicine, this is the uncomfortable truth about the medical miracles you're not meant to access. Part 1. The Promise of CRISPR. In 2012, a scientific breakthrough changed everything: CRISPR-Cas9. This revolutionary gene editing tool allows scientists to go into DNA and cut, replace, or silence specific genes. Think of it like a microscopic pair of scissors with a GPS system. We're talking about potential cures for sickle cell anemia, cystic fibrosis, certain types of cancer, even inherited blindness. Sounds amazing, right? Well, it is. And it works. In fact, as of 2023, the FDA approved the first CRISPR-based therapy for sickle cell disease. But it costs nearly $2 million per patient. That's not a typo. The technology that could erase lifelong suffering is available. But unless you have deep pockets or elite insurance, it might as well not exist. And this is just the beginning. Part 2. Age reversal isn't sci-fi anymore. You may have heard of Brian Johnson, the tech millionaire spending millions per year on what he calls the Blueprint Project to reverse aging. He takes over 100 supplements a day. He monitors his organs with advanced imaging. He even undergoes plasma transfusions from his teenage son. Is he crazy? Maybe. But here's the kicker: it's working. Doctors say his heart is functioning like a man in his 30s. His biological age has decreased. And he's not the only one. Elites in Silicon Valley and biotech hubs are pouring fortunes into experimental treatments. Senolytics, drugs that remove aging cells from the body. Telomere extension, manipulating the end caps of DNA to slow cellular aging. Epigenetic reprogramming, turning back the clock on how genes express themselves. These are the kinds of treatments that, if proven safe and scalable, could change everything about human lifespan. But for now, they're only available to the wealthy few. Part 3. The gap is growing. Let's zoom out. Medical inequality isn't new. For decades, richer people have lived longer, healthier lives than poorer ones. But we're entering a new era, one where the very biology of being human could diverge by income. The wealthy might make it to 120+ years. Prevent cancer before it even forms. Grow replacement organs in labs. Erase Alzheimer's before it starts. While the rest of us struggle to afford insulin. Wait for insurance pre-approvals. Die of treatable conditions due to cost or access. It's not just unfair. It's dystopian. Part 4. Private medicine versus public health. Why aren't these breakthroughs widely available? Simple answer: money. Research costs billions. Clinical trials take years. And companies need to profit. So when they finally get a working treatment, they price it high to recoup costs and please shareholders. But here's the dilemma. Governments move slowly. Insurance systems are tangled. Ethics boards debate for decades. Meanwhile, billionaires just buy their way into early access. They fund the labs. They bypass regulations with private clinics. They sign NDAs and jump into trials the public doesn't even know exist. They are the first guinea pigs. And sometimes, the first beneficiaries. Part 5. Stories from the Edge. Here are a few wild, real stories that sound like sci-fi. A man in China edited the genes of his twin daughters to resist HIV using CRISPR. The world was outraged. He was jailed. But the children? Still alive. Still being studied. An unregulated clinic in the Bahamas offers stem cell injections for spinal injuries, at $100,000 plus a treatment. In Switzerland, elite anti-aging spas inject young plasma and perform controversial cellular rejuvenation therapies for Hollywood clients. In Dubai, a life extension startup offers DNA repair sessions and telomere tests for the ultra-wealthy. The global elite isn't waiting for approval. They're buying time while the rest of us wait in line. Part 6. Is there hope? Not all hope is lost. Some companies are pushing for tiered pricing, where poorer countries or patients get treatments at lower costs. Groups like OpenBio and the Longevity Dividend Initiative advocate for making breakthroughs public and scalable. And as patents expire, generics and biosimilars may democratize access over time. Plus, history shows us this. What starts as elite tech often becomes mainstream. The first computers filled rooms, now they're in your pocket. LASIK eye surgery used to cost a fortune, now it's widely available. But will that happen with these radical cures? Or will they remain locked behind velvet ropes? Bonus section, the ethical question. Let's ask something bigger. Should we even want to live forever? If only some people can afford immortality, do we risk a society where the rich literally outlive the poor? What does that do to democracy? To equality? To meaning? And who decides what it means to be human when humanity itself is being rewritten in luxury labs? Final thoughts. So what do we do with this uncomfortable truth? The cures are coming. In fact, some are already here. But without bold moves in policy, pricing, and public access, we risk a future where your zip code and net worth determine whether you live to 70 or 170. That's not just a healthcare crisis. It's a moral one. We're standing at a medical frontier unlike anything humanity has seen. The gates to longer life, disease-free existence, and enhanced bodies are opening, but only for those who can afford the key. The rest of us? We're being asked to watch through the glass? To cheer from the sidelines? But it doesn't have to stay that way. As a society, we can fight for access, for fairness, for research that serves the many, not just the few. Because the future of medicine shouldn't be a luxury. It should be a human right. If this deep dive sparks something in you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear the truth behind modern medicine. And tell us in the comments, if you could take one experimental therapy right now, regardless of cost, what would it be? Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and never stop asking who gets left behind when progress marches forward.